Hello, hello everyone. Welcome back to another 30 Days Reforged battle. Thank you for joining me for yet another adventure into Middle Earth. Today we are going to be witnessing a 2v2. The armors are going to consist of Cardolans commanded by myself, Arthedain commanded by Pasternak. We have Dale commanded by Patrici. Alright, I'm not even going to try. Patrici Juz, I guess. And then we have Karad commanded by Umad Coolmander. Not Umad Commander himself, Umad Coolmander. But I have played with quite a few battles. So I'm going to go over my own army very quickly. However, keep in mind, this was about my second day playing Reforged and my first day ever playing Cardolans, so excuse my lack of skill and knowledge. So over here, on to the right flank, I have a unit of mercenary crossbowmen, a hidden unit of Aaron axemen, a line of sharpshooters. In front of them, some men-at-arms. I have wardens of Tyrion Gorthad, Greenway Garrison spearmen, Dunedain captains, Royal Court of House Thorondor. I also have Tharbad riders. In the front, I have just more men-at-arms. Up here I have my Greenway Garrison archers, and I do have some a line of Greenway Garrison footmen. So my general is in the Warhammer's unit, I believe. Alright, now we'll go ahead on to Arthedain. Arthedain, having some civilians. Arthedain men-at-arms, Royal Court of House Amlath. So, more civilians. We have some Arthedain men-at-arms. More civilians. Knights of Anumanos, very powerful unit. Some Evendim spearmen in front of them. Four Nostarian defenders, and let's see. And Arthedain pikemen. So a line of 4 Nostarian defenders and Arthedain pikemen. In front of them, we have some units of Arthedain marksmen. There might be some other units. Yeah. Over here, we'll go on to Harad in the front line. Some Haradrim archers behind them. Pushing up, we can see some Southrun Warbat and some Mahud warriors. Over here, we can see dismounted Serpent Guard, Haradrim spearmen. Right, just behind them, we can see the Demons of the Desert, very deadly javelin unit. We can see some more javelins, some beast hunters marching up along the lines. Just more dismounted Serpent Guard. We can see some Haradrim spearmen, and over here, the glorious Mumakil, chilling over there. Yeah, champions of Nafra as well, very elite unit. I'm just kind of skimming over the army comps. We can see some Dalian cavalry over here, Barding herd in the back lines, Lake Town infantry, Dalian bowmen. We can see some pikemen and some bowmen intertwined, more Quindi bows, 2 units of Dalian spearmen in the front lines. We can see once again some Bardian marksmen, more Quindi pikemen, Bardian marksmen again, just more Quindi pikes. We can see some more Dalian cavalry back here. Bombarding herd in the center. Let's see. I believe they do have some more forces somewhere around here. Alright, let's go ahead and let's get straight to the battle. I'm gonna go ahead and micro over here a little bit. Alright, so we can see Haradrim archers firing their volleys into what looks like the Arthedain marksmen, who are fewer in numbers but better armored. Should win. Just arrows flying in. Actually, I believe they might be going for the Arthedain marksmen, and it's the arrows are straying off and hitting the spearmen. I'm not too sure. Yeah, so the arrows are kind of straying everywhere, to be honest. I mean, I know he's trying to use his skirmishers, but honestly, this is probably what Harad wanted to do. They're doing damage, and they're also receiving the damage. So those Haradrim archers are taking damage rather than the Serpent Guard taking damage. So it's kind of a trade, and it's it's in favor of Harad. So you can see the archers just pouring fire into Arthedain. However, they are in loose formation. Let's go over here. So over here, some Tharbad riders coming over here, just to try to charge into some of the Dalian cavalry. Over here, Dale charging into my to my Greenway Garrison archers, proceeding to I charge them with my men-at-arms and here with men-at-arms. Archers routing. My Ironvor and Axemen now coming up. I try to surround these guys. Cardolan, like, the morale's not as bad as people say it is, as long as you don't, like, if you isolate the units, keep them away from units that provide a morale boost, or the unit's just getting utterly destroyed, then they'll break. But of course, if you play them how they're supposed to be played, they won't. However, I have some Greenway Garrison footmen marching up. Nice pike unit. Let's try to stop the advance. However, I did accidentally send them up. My Menheriath men-at-arms, as well as some Thoroughbred Riders not taking fire. You can see a Bardian Marksman from Dale. Archers moving up. Over here, Arthedain sending some Royal Court of House Amlath over. You can see over here, we're getting some engagements. I'll slow it down to 0.5. Over here, Harad just rushing forward. Southbound Warband. Civilians going to meet the charge. We can see some javelins heading right into the Fornosarane defenders and Arthedain pikemen, taking out quite a few of these. Very nice use of their javelins. Actually, just of their missiles in general by Harad. Arthedain is more elite. In some cases, you can see the dismounted Serpent Guard charging straight into the pikes and Fornosarane defenders. More volleys just proceeding from Harad. Really trying to use all their javelins. This line is just really... It was looking pretty strong. It's still looking pretty strong. We can just see how many units are falling. Arthedain men-at-arms coming over here. They need to support the civilians already. They're routing. Over here, Haradrim spearmen chilling at the flanks. Presumably attempting to get around. However, Demons of the Desert need to try to get in a good position so they can throw their volley. Very deadly, as I said. Kind of just sitting here looking at the enemy. A blank shot. They probably tried to move or something. So over here we can see Southbound Warband now engaging the Arthedain men-at-arms. Instead of just charging them directly, I would send my Haradrim spearmen around to flank and completely cut these guys off. You can see Demons of the Desert kind of just trying to reposition. Evandime spears coming over here to reinforce the line. Beast Hunters now out of ammo, going to be charging in. Can't see Mumakil knocking over some of their fellow Haradrim units. Going to go straight into this battle. We can't see a pretty thick line of Haradrim infantry. However, so we can see some civilians charging in to occupy the spearmen. And I think what Pashnak's trying to do is get his spearmen around the flanks so they can slowly roll up this line, slowly and surely, to ensure victory. You can see some javelins being thrown. However, over here we can see Arthedain kind of losing micro of their cav shortly. I'm just, on my part, just doing a horrible job at keeping my archers safe. Dale is really using their cav wisely. Some of the units they charge into, not so much. However, I'm just trying to use my men-at-arms to save my archers. However, I'm kind of leaving them out. As you can tell, I don't really know what I'm doing. However, I did end up sending my crossbowmen over here. My mounted crossbowmen, as you can see. There's a couple of the last one of them, my mercenary crossbowmen, being cut down. I lost micro. Didn't realize they were dead until I couldn't find them. So, yeah. My Thoroughbred Riders coming back over here. Men-at-arms racing. However, I am using my sharpshooters to shoot directly to Lake Town infantry. Not really the best use, but at this point, I didn't really know what to use them for. So, go back over here. We can see Knights of Anumanos nicely maneuvering themselves around, hopefully to try to get a charge into all these Haradrim spearmen. However, they are going to be facing forward, so it's going to be a rather nasty charge. We can see civilians routing. Mumakil have gotten through the lines, now into the marksmen. Wardens of the North, very nice unit. Unidyne Rangers in a pretty nice position to fire right into the blobs. You can see some Beast Hunters actually now routing. And if Arthedain is victorious on this flank, they can slowly roll up the line. And it is looking like Harad is just thinning out in the lines. They don't really have much more to send in. Arthedain doing a pretty nice job. Their pike wall is pretty strong. And this Moro over here, it was looking better. Knights of Anumanos Men around here to get a nice charge. Demons of the desert. Looks like they're marching. Accidentally got caught up in combat. Right now, it's just raw, just kind of routing. It's pretty hard, pretty tough to charge into a pike roll directly. Pike and spear wall. However, we can see 2 Mumakil have fallen. Mumakil now into the back of the Dunedain Raiders, inflicting a decent amount of damage. However, most of them are just going to get up. I think Arthedain really focusing down on the Mumakil with their archers. It's pretty good. Pretty good. They're going to soak up a lot of ammo. However, missiles is really how you deal with them, especially javelins. We can't see over here. Arthedain should just at this point send all his units here that are unoccupied. Just slowly roll around the flank, just to save as many lives as possible. However, we can see Demons of the Desert moving over. I'm gonna go ahead and go over here. Dale still utilizing his cavalry. I am now in a formation with my Greenway Garrison footmen. Not really an engagement over here. Can see Dale maneuvering around. Arthedain sending in some cap to support me. Unit still hidden. More Quindi pikes is kind of staying right here to defend the archers who are firing behind them. Dale taking a little bit more passive approach, and really just trying to skirmish my line down. However, that's kind of Harad does. They rush with their numbers, utilize their numbers. Barding Hood moving forward. Barding Herd were moving forward, and now they're retreating in loose formation. Didn't look like they were punished too cruelly. Couple getting caught up, but really, at this point, Dale's just trying to skirmish me down. My Thoroughbred Riders, at this point, I should really just charge into the back of this Dalian cavalry, who are really just unoccupied. At this point, just kind of sitting there. Alright, over here we can see Arthedain did a pretty good job at shoring up their lines over here. However, over here, Harad does still have a pretty thick line. Mumakil just kind of terrorizing the archers. At this point, all 3 have fallen. There is 1 left. Honestly, I think... I mean, it's good that he went for the archers. He stopped them from firing. But there goes the last Mumakil. However, I think they really need help in this line. Over here, Arthedain should, at this point, really silence these Demons of the Desert. He's kind of just lost his micro, and then he just saw he has a chance to charge right into them, as well as the Haradrim archers. I do think he could have shored up his line and beneficially saved troops if he had utilized the fact that he had units that weren't being occupied that Harad couldn't occupy. So he should have just sent these guys around to finish off Harad and save as many troops. However, it's looking like Arthedain is just going to completely wipe out Harad and take this victory. Over here, Dalian cavalry now at 15. I did do what I said I was going to do with using my Thoroughbred Riders to charge directly into Dale. Over here, Dale charging, trying to counter-charge. My sharpshooters loading up, and I did realize he tried to charge, so I met the charge. Barding Herd now moving up. I don't know what he's really doing. They're in loose formation, as well as they're unsupported. They're by themselves, so they're just kind of getting, some of them getting picked off from behind. Can see Dalian Spearmen now moving in. My line. They're going to go meet my line. They're kind of focusing in one place, which is questionable because I could really just send my men around. However, they are going to fix that shortly. Can see Dale moving their cav around. My Royal Court House of Thorondor and his House of Amlath we're just going to be trying to follow his cav. However, we kind of just left him right here for now. As you can see, Dale really aware of his surrounding and his situation. He is going to be utilizing his cav advantage. He did have more, and he is going to potentially charge into these open Greenway Garrison archers. Big fault on my part. I am retreating my sharpshooters, bringing up my Wardens of Tyr and Gorthad. At this point, my riders are victorious. They should just start charging into the Lake Town infantry and such. More Quindy bows, archers just at this point out of ammo. Over here we can see some Lake Town pikemen moving in, Bardian marksmen who are also out of ammo. More Quindy pikes trying to position themselves. They're now engaged with all of my line. my Airborne Axemen, I'm probably going to start utilizing them to send them around the flanks. I am waiting a little bit until they commit further. Over here, Lake Town Pikemen kind of attempting to wrap around my army. However, I did try to stop this advance by committing my Wardens of Tyr and Gorthad. You can see just a lot of arrows pouring down from Dale. Over here, honestly, I feel like Arthedain should have sent all these units. They don't need all these units to chase the demons of the desert. They could use their cav and maybe a different unit. However, I think they should really, if you notice over here, he's kind of using his pikes, but they're kind of just sitting here, like only some of them in combat. He should really just wrap around and just completely attack these guys from all sides. Over here, Harad now fighting back to back, fighting to the death. Over here, Arthedain doing pretty good. At this point, they should just use their numbers. They need to support me. I don't know what I'm doing. Over here, bombarding herd, half of them out of combat. Only a small amount being occupied. We can see Dalian Spearmen still in melee over here, Lake Town Pikemen. And fault on my part, I'm kind of just leaving my Wardens of Tyr and Gorthad here just to be skirmished down. I should just at this point send them in. My Greenway Garrison Spearmen are slightly being surrounded. Over here, as you can see, Dale once again getting a very nice charge due to my lack of situational or surrounding situations, situational awareness. And he did get a decent charge into my sharpshooters and my Greenway Garrison archers who were wavering. At this point, sending over my Dunedain captains to try to stop that. I'm starting to fire into his pikes. My archers at this point pretty darn depleted, and they didn't do much damage. However, you can see Royal Court of House Amlath coming in for a nice charge. It's going to do quite a bit of damage. It is pikemen, however, they are turned around, and some low-tier pikemen. So if he can get a charge and then pull out immediately, it could do some damage. Decent amount of damage, but he now does need to pull out. You can see Dalian cavalry just behind my lines still. At this point, where are my cav? Yeah, alright, I have my Royal House of Thorondor over here. Should just get this cav out of the way. Where are my... yeah, Thoroughbred Riders over here. I was attempting to charge into some of these units. I'm now going to most likely charge into the Lake Town Infantry. At this point, Arthedain kind of just occupying themselves on a couple troops, a couple units. They should honestly just completely push through. They don't need all these units. At this point, they can start sending men over my way to help me during my battle. Thoroughbred Riders just kind of chilling over here. At this point, I'm going to speed it up a bit since the battle on that side is basically done. Over here, you can see Dalian Spearmen are starting to break through my lines, getting into my sharpshooters. There goes the Haradrim General. So a couple demons, or a couple champions of Nafrat fighting to the death. Dale on this front is victorious, and they're kind of doing what Arthedain should have. Slowly wrapping around my units of men-at-arms, such. Dalian cavalry still doing hammer and anvil into my units. My line is just really thinning out. At this point, I need all the help. I did try to commit my Airborne Axemen, however, I should have gone over here and then done a successful charge. My Royal House of Thonder are still over here. I am using my Thoroughbred Riders to charge into some of these pikes. However, they turned around and I really needed to get out of there. Took minor casualties. They are now getting focused down by archers. That was a decent... doesn't look like there's too many dead pikemen over here. It could have been better. However, it looks like I am charging into them again with their pikes down. And my unit of Thoroughbred Riders is going to get completely cut down. Horrible situational awareness on my part. I didn't realize that. Looks like they're going to rout. I wouldn't blame him. Half of their unit just got massacred by me charging into the pikes. Wardens of Tyr and Gorthad still in combat over here. At this point, I'm just using my most elite cav at this point. Royal Court of House Thorondor. Pretty nice charge, even though it was into the pikes down formation. Lake Town Pikemen cutting them down quite a bit, only taking about 2 casualties. My Axemen, I'm now going to take them out and then charge them back in, just to try to get a charge bonus with their axes. Now going to charge them directly into the Lake Town Pikemen. Questionable. It's an unoccupied unit currently, and honestly, over here it's looking a lot worse for myself. My Tharbad Warhammers now in combat. Dale over here is kind of surrounding me. I have my Dunedain captains over here. Tharbad Riders now back from routing. I'm just going to, at this point, start charging them into any units I can. However, they did get countercharged by Spearmen. Royal Court of House Durandar still. I did notice that with the lack of Dalian cavalry and their lack of micro, I did see some open targets in the bowmen and such, light infantry, so I am utilizing my cav to do as much damage as possible. At this point, I know that I'm going to lose, and if I'm going to lose, I might as well do as much damage as possible so that my ally Arthedain can come over here and clean them up. I am trying to occupy them as long as possible. There goes the Dalian general, just in hopes that my my ally can surround them. Over here, Royal Court of House Durandar taking about, oh wow, taking about 9 losses or such, charging directly into the back of the Barding herd. However, they turned around almost instantly and cut down my cav. However, we can see 58, very depleted unit of my Aaronborn Axemen. At this point, just not the right engagement for them. Just lack of experience on my part. Lake Town Pikemen. Can see just a couple units of Dale left, charging directly into my men-at-arms, doing a decent amount of damage. Bardian Marksman now charging into the back of my lines. It's gonna finish my lines up. I do have just a couple pockets of my most elite troops still fighting. Dunedain captains doing their best. Now engaged with Daily Royal Guard. Dale did pretty good, utilizing the cav, utilizing their numbers advantage at the end, their skirmishers, and just my morale at some point. Just using all of that to their advantage. So that was a good part for Dale. However, 4 Dalian cavalry now charging, now chasing down my Royal Court of House Durandar. Questionable. They could be doing something else. Even if they did charge, they would be cut down. They do see the chance to charge into the back of some Evandine spearmen, and they, even though they are spearmen, they did get a rear charge, and that did do quite a bit of damage. We can see Arthedain is now starting to arrive on location on my defeat. Can see some civilians, some spearmen, depleted units of men-at-arms coming over here. However, the more they can support, the longer I'll be able to hammer and angle. And I do have my Dunedain captains trying their best. Can see routing Dalian cavalry, depleted unit Morquindi pikes, some Bardian marksmen. Can see I do have 8 units. 8 unit models still left in my unit. Kind of just sitting over here, letting them rest for a second. But in a little bit, I am going to have to get right back into the battle. We hope to win this. Just like pockets of returning units, just kind of everywhere. We can see Arthedain now slowly starting to pour in here. We can see Bardian marksmen now engaged with what are these? Men-at-arms. Some men-at-arms. 4 Arthedain defenders too. My Dunedain captains are now starting to get cut down, being engaged with the Royal Guard. Over here, 4 Arthedain defenders marching into battle. Some marksmen, spearmen, civilians, kind of just encircling the last of the Dalian units. Men-at-arms running down some units, routing Morquindi bows and pikes. Barding herd now down at 214, trying to get out of there or reposition themselves. 6 of my Tharbad riders coming back, one of them getting cut down. That was a pretty nice charge for the small amount of unit. However, I'm just using the hit points and the health that my cav have just to keep them alive to do as much damage as possible. I am seeing opportunities. Some not high tier units, but at this point, the most damage I can do is decent. So I am using my cav. One of my last units left. You can see just I have a couple pockets of men everywhere. Bardian marksmen detaching themselves. You can see I do have my Dunedain captain still left, very depleted. Arthedain over here have some marksmen who still have ammo. They're going to position themselves to start firing. What? Wow. We can see a very poor soul from Dale, kind of stuck in the air. It's floating. It's alright. See that every day in Middle Earth, don't worry. Cav have taken one, lost one unit model. I can't see, I think it's general right there. Yeah, I believe I had my general in here, so I apologize. At this point, Barney Marksman over here routing the Arthedain Spearmen. Not really an ideal engagement. They were kind of just there to hold the line, give the other Arthedain units time. However, we can see it's mostly just civilians and Arthedain Spearmen. So at this point, Dale does have less units. However, they are a little bit more elite than what Arthedain's committing currently. Let's see some routing units. Yeah. So I am still utilizing my Royal Court of House Thoronder, which is like the only thing I did well in this battle. However, the Spearmen have turned around, and the Royal Guard, I do need to get them out of there. However, Arthedain Pikemen, a decently healthy unit, dropping their pikes, raising them back up. They're going to charge into this battle to the Barding Herd. A little bit of friendly fire over there. Some Spearmen pursuing my cavalry. More pikemen. Heading over here, some more pikemen. Arthedain is... We do have some marksmen here. Arthedain doesn't have the most left, but I mean, at this point, they just kind of need to use their numbers. We're into the north over here. Pikemen just now kind of heading into battle, trying to change the fate. My army is already gone over here. The pikemen should be able to win this battle from here. I would recommend. We do have 23 Daily Royal Guard charging into the pikemen. They are a pretty deadly unit. Pikemen over here almost victorious. From here, I would recommend surrounding these spearmen, and then the Royal Guard. Over here, the spearmen a little bit more healthy. Marksmen now falling back. I am still using my cav. They'll have 6 units left. They hardly got their lances down. It was only, at this point, only 6 unit models. Don't have the most mass, don't have the most charge power. Especially from that short distance. You can see a decent charge into the Dalian Spearmen. Which is going to cause them to rout. So at this point, it's kind of looking that Arthedain came to my aid, and they did turn the tides of the battle, and we were victorious. My army almost completely destroyed. However, Arthedain, despite taking a decent amount of damage from Harad and kind of trickling their units in, which was it wasn't really a major problem. However, they lost some of their spearmen, civilians, and depleted units of men-at-arms. Although that might not be much at this point, every unit counted. So that is one thing Arthedain did. They didn't really utilize their numbers in the Harad fight, so they did lose some more units than was required, and they did take longer to come to my aid. However, at this point, just the pure numbers in pikemen, as well as just my cav, we did persevere, and we did end up taking victory. As you can see, Arthedain really coming to my aid, and from that victory received. It was very costly. However, as you can see, Harad not really doing enough damage to Arthedain as they probably wanted to. However, Dale doing very, very well in this battle, getting the most kills. Of course, I got slightly more than Harad, not in kills, but in kills and prisoners. But we can really see that Arthedain doing pretty well. Dale was a great player. He utilized a lot of their assets, like their skirmishers, their cav, and their decent units. And at this point, Arthedain really just too many numbers overwhelmed Dale. So thank you to everyone who participated in this battle. Sorry, words are kind of hard right now. I will show you guys the kills. Not too pleasing. I'm not too pleased with myself. 190 from the Royal Court of House Thorondor, 209 from Tharbad Riders. Keep in mind, Tharbad Riders charged into the less elite units as Lake Town Infantry and Dalian Bowmen and such, and the Royal Court charged into more elite units, and especially into some Bardian Marksmen, which was not the smartest move. Mercenary Crossbowmen actually getting 0 kills because they were just cut down. Sharpshooters underperforming 73-37. They are very, very deadly and elite. However, I just misused them completely. We can see 51 from the Dunedain Captains. Tharbad Warhammers getting 138. My army just really underperformed during this battle. However, I do now know how to utilize Cardolan to almost their full potential. Like I said, please spare me. This was like my second day playing and like my 4th battle, so I didn't really know what I was doing. I do appreciate everybody who took part in this battle, everybody who's watching right now. Thank you so much. If you guys would like to, you can watch me live on Twitch. I just finished a live stream, twitch.tv/TK_mod. You can find it in the description. You would really appreciate if you guys would check me out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at TK_mod on all of my my social medias. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate all you guys. I will see you guys next time. Enjoy. Peace.